I'm really excited about today. This might be a one-off. This might get really awkward. What I was thinking is I'll kind of give you guys a tour of the office. So I've changed the bird's eye view cam. So now this is where it is. Let's see. Ta-da! Look, I always look so beautiful from down. Oh, mother of chins. What's on that whiteboard? Let me show you. So this massive whiteboard is my next one-man show, Danish Invasion. I haven't gotten that far. I've got way more material than the stuff that's up here. I've got way more stuff, but I need to write it all up because what I like to do is I use a program called Evernote, which gives me a good overview of all my material, and I can write I do like separate documents for sets, and yeah, it's good. It's good. But then what I like to do is when I'm kind of structuring the show is I do these post-its, and then I have some of the different themes that I know I'm going to get into. For example, I'm going to talk about being Danish, I'm going to talk about being Irish, then I put down some of the jokes that would work compared to that. Then I'm an emotional guy, and I've got empathy. Those are themes I know I'm doing. I've got some sheep. This is like a one-liner thing where I talk about sheep can recognize up to 50 other sheep if you take them apart for 2 years. So you can like take sheep apart and put them back together, and they're like, Phil, you got a haircut. And then I do some material about how the scientists found out that it was 2 years. I'm thinking it was a bogus survey. There's no way a guy separated 50 sheep for a couple of years. I think it's way more like, I think he just came up with that excuse as he was like carrying a couple of sheep into the woods, and they were like, where are you going? It's science, for science. And then more sheep jokes like that. Let me just get back to this. This is where I again, what I do is I just, right now, this isn't going to represent the way the show is structured, but I'm just going to write down the material that I plan on doing, and then I just put it up here. Some of the stuff that fits into themes. That way, when I structure the show, I can give it kind of an arc or a story. It doesn't have to be super theatrical where I sit on the edge of the stage and like, so what's the point? What's the meaning? What have we learned today? Because basically what we've learned is a stupid sheep one-liner, but it's still nice because it soothes the brain. If I just jump from joke to joke, if I go sheep, then after that sheep joke I just go, my father's Irish, and then I after that go, in America I don't understand their healthcare system. If I just jump like that, the audience will get confused. So I kind of like to put stuff into themes, and then as the show starts to form and shape itself, which is stuff I usually do on a stand-up stage. Right now, there is no stand-up stages, woohoo! So I'm here on Twitch talking to you guys. Then I start to put, it gets a flow that makes sense and a rhythm where it's like a big joke, medium joke, even bigger joke. That's kind of the way you'd structure it. If you're doing half an hour, you'd usually go, usually you'd open on the B material, which is maybe one. I like to open on A material. So I open on one like really good bit, and then you get into the B material, which is okay. And then in the middle, you'll have like a few C material jokes, which are like, meh, but they cut you some slack because they know, okay, he's able to be funny. Hopefully there'll be some better stuff towards the end. And then at the very end, you do all your A material. Now this should be filled up with jokes, but I haven't gotten that far. You know, one thing at a time. And then this other whiteboard, if we go over here, is just different stuff that I like to look at once in a while to get my head in the right place. This over here are some of my newer goals. Usually, as I've crossed off stuff, I remove it. Okay, and this very thing, effort and big, these are the only things I need to control a lot. Like the only thing, when you do this stand-up thing, or you have a career, you have something you want to do, you have all these ideas about what you can do, or there's so many people who need to help you and who need to accept what you're doing. And the only thing I can control is my own effort. So that's just to remind myself that the effort I put in is the only thing I can really control. So I just need to work on my effort when it comes to achieving these goals over here. Just put in the effort and then see what happens. Because it might not work, but at least if I put in the effort, I know I tried my best. And big is to remind myself to think big, because I have a tendency to worry about the world, and I worry about my career, and I worry about myself. Am I good enough? Am I funny enough? And that could influence the way I plan my life, because I'm like, I shouldn't do English stand-up because I'm not funny enough. I shouldn't set up this Twitch stream because it will never work. People will never want to watch me game because I'm a bad gamer, and I'm not going to be entertaining enough. I'm not going to be, people aren't going to be nice. I kind of stop myself, and then I worry. I'm like, oh, I have to do these horrible TV things I don't really want to do, or I have to do this weird stand-up gig to get some money, and I don't want to do it, but I need the money because, you know, this career is going to end. And that's where I have to remember, effort and big. Think big, Simon. Get on Netflix. Think big. That will influence the way I plan my life and the decisions I make. Wow, this is one goddamn serious douchebaggy stream. I like to lift weights. I've got goals. Oh God, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm sorry. And this here, I wrote down recently, because this is the way I after I hung out with Russell Howard for a week, and I just performed with that guy for a week. He is such a goddamn machine. He works constantly, and I just wanted to do so much better every day. I wanted my show to get so much better every single day. It was like all about, okay, let's, can I move this joke around to get a better opener? I need the closer to get stronger. Can I change this premise? And I was constantly picking Russell's brain. How do you do this? How do you think about that? He was quite honest. He actually, at the end, after 6 days, he was like, wow, you're really hard on yourself. And I thought to myself, if Russell Howard, the workaholic crazy guy who's like, oh, I drink too much tea, mate. I drink too much tea when I'm writing material. If he thinks that I'm too hard on myself, I need to let down. I need to kind of calm down. But after a week with Russell, I just spent the entire day on the couch, just eating pizza, just doing nothing. I was just knackered because he's such a goddamn machine. And I just realized that I have to be all right with who I am. I need to stop wanting everything to be perfect, because that's what I want. I always expect every single show to be perfect, and I've never come off and went, that was great, perfect show. I always go, I could have changed that, needed that word to be a little bit better. I focus on the one person in the audience who isn't laughing. So I put so much pressure on myself. So this is just to remind myself, when I'm thinking, when I'm feeling down, or I have these thoughts, like I need to be a perfect comedian, I need to be the perfect streamer. Like, remember that thing that happened 5 minutes ago where I went, this is horrible and not good enough? Wow, this is one goddamn serious douchebaggy stream. That thing, I need to be the perfect success. I need to be the massive, the biggest, like The Rock can go home. I'm the new Kevin Hart, but bigger. I need to be in perfect shape. No fat. None of this stuff. Just 7% body fat. I need to be the perfect brother, my handicapped little brother. I need to take care of him. I'm putting money aside for him every single month because I want to make sure that he's got the best possible conditions when my dad can't take care of him anymore. And for my other two half brothers, I need to talk to them all the time and help them out with all their problems. Need to be the perfect son. Need to talk to my mother constantly. Talk to my dad constantly. Just the perfect son. Perfect friend. Every single I love so many people. I have so many great people in my life, but I need to be there all the time for every single one of them. And I need to be the perfect husband. That's, of course, these are the things that give me the most pressure. Be the perfect husband. I need Katrina to know that I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always the perfect support. So when I start thinking this way, and you can tell all of this stuff is impossible, it's not possible. If I am the perfect husband, which doesn't exist, I have to sacrifice some of this other stuff so it flows. Right now I'm streaming, so I'm not doing stand-up, I'm not like working out, I'm not hanging with my brother. Well, I spoke on the phone with my dad recently, so that's okay. But everything you do takes time from something else. So when I have these thoughts about myself and I feel like I'm not good enough, just don't. It's that simple. Just don't. You don't have to be perfect. You're good enough as you is. As you are. Just don't do it. Remember that? When you're like, why I feel bad, I should be happier. Why am I telling myself I'm horrible? Just don't do that. Just stop doing it. And these are some of the notes I discussed with Russell. These are kind of some of the notes that I discussed with Russell when we talked about how to do stand-up. Is delivery. Is how do I deliver my material? Not alone, like how do I write? That's one thing, but deliver is everything in this world. Move with purpose. Like just the audience needs to know where you're going. Just move towards your punchline with purpose. Don't waver. Don't be like, meh, meh, meh. Know where you're going. What joke are you? What's the punchline? And get there. Know every bit, which is like, yeah, know every bit from start to finish. Just practice it and know where you're going and what you're doing. Be watchable, which is a very big thing. Like sometimes you can be unfunny and still watchable. I've sat through shows that weren't half as funny as, or like the jokes were way worse than other stand-up I've watched, but it was still very watchable. Like Pete Davidson's, if you've seen Pete Davidson's newest Netflix special, like he's very watchable. You can just sit there and feel like you're hanging out with him. He's not as tight as other comedians. If you watch, I also watched some of Tom Papa's material, his new special, You're Doing Fine, and also Michelle Wolf. Like it's very tight. It's very like those are more into the know every bit, get into it, just get after every punchline, and it's all about laughs per minute. But Pete Davidson is very watchable, which is a big thing. If you just feel like, hey, I want to hang out with this person, it's nice. Just like now, it's unfunny. I don't know where I'm going, but hopefully I'm watchable because I'm honest. At least I'm honest right now. And then one sentence at a time, which is my biggest issue. Is I kind of tend to run over the joke. I don't wait for the audience, I just keep going. I need to slow down. And then the third show is the best, is I need to remember that if I'm not warm, if I haven't performed for a while, it's okay to not be my best self at the very first gig. That's okay, because then I start hitting myself in the head. We're back at this, where I'm thinking I should be the perfect comedian, and today wasn't the best show because it was the first time I haven't performed in a while, and now I feel like I'm horrible because I don't move with purpose. I kind of wavered. Oh, where am I going? Finding my delivery again. And I didn't take one sentence at a time. I just started running over each sentence and I started yabbing. So this is basically this kind of ties into this thing about don't be so hard on yourself, Simon. You're okay. Just remember that the first show is kind of getting your sea legs, you know? And then the second, you're feeling more comfortable. And then the third night I'm performing, I'm starting to feel like myself. And I tend to forget that every time I haven't performed for a while because I've been doing other stuff, like making sure that the Twitch stream is ready, making sure that I've set up a good YouTube video, I'm posting good stuff, or I'm practicing the guitar. Then if I don't perform for a while, I start feeling like I'm horrible just because I haven't done stand-up in a while and I don't feel like I'm perfect. I was planning on this being like a little thing and now I just jabbered for hours. I hope some aspiring comedian out there got something out of that. If you want to become a comedian, this is my system. It might not work for you, but I would recommend just watching a bunch of open mics, watching all the stand-up you can, and start writing down notes. And what works for you? Like maybe someone else doesn't have that problem. I know a bunch of comedians with a God complex who think they're perfect, or like they're like, I got this. They basically need to go slow down, or they think too big, like they reach for the stars too much. I really have to remind myself to just go for it. So this might not work for you, but hey, works for me. Works for me. We got through it. We got through it, guys.